Hey guys, this may be video one of my vlog. I've wanted to start it for a while. It's been an idea that's been kicking around in my head of following someone who's going through their basic life, trying to take their self-improvement seriously. I didn't really plan on starting today or doing anything with this, but I felt like taking this test, this Understand Myself test by Peterson, and thought this may be as good of a time as any to go ahead and get started and give it a shot. So with the test, I've heard of like the Ocean score and the Big Five personality traits before, taken tests here and there, and wanted to just give it a shot. I'm not exactly like a huge Jordan Peterson fan or part of the like army of his followers, but I do think he has a lot of really great things to say and wanted to go ahead and just look into this. So I'll be going through this question by question and talking about it, giving my thoughts, and just taking it step by step. So first thing here, it's asking, am I a man or a woman? Man, birthday, July 7th, 1994. And begin exercise. So first thing here, it wants me to understand the format of the test and rationale. You can only take the test once. Once the personality test to be taken, scored in a standardized manner, and to make sure that it's genuinely accurate. What conditions should surround me? Best not to take the test under conditions that will make me more self-critical. But I guess we're too late on that one because I'm videoing myself, although I might just not air this later on anyways. I'm not hungry. I'm not feeling unhappy or more anxious than usual, not currently depressed, not rushed, and I am unlikely to be interrupted or distracted. So I'm alone, can work without hurrying and without being disrupted. So we'll see how it goes. So first question is, please indicate the degree to which these phrases accurately describes my personality. Page 1 of 10 pages in the task. Do I seldom feel blue? I would strongly agree. I'm not interested in other problems. I would fairly strongly disagree. That's about a 2 out of 5. Carry out my plans. 4. I think that I tend to follow through on my plans when I actually go fully through my planning phase. I feel like my brain's pretty scatterbrained sometimes, so I have a hard time with getting it all on paper, but once I do, I'm pretty committed to it. Do I make friends easily? I think so. Am I quick to understand things? Typically, yes. That's about a 4. Get angry easily? Strongly disagree. Respect authority? 3 out of 5. I think I'm neither here nor there. Although, yeah. Do I leave my belongings around? Not when I am staying with my girlfriend. Take charge? I do feel like Alright, I cut off the camera because I thought I recognized that I was rushing myself and thinking a little bit too much about how I'd be coming off on camera. So I wanted to open this back up and record it anyways. And if I decide to air this later, then fine. But I also might find that I look pretty boring as I go through this. But I think it's helpful to kind of talk out my thoughts on each of these questions. So am I filled with doubts about things? Sometimes. Depends on what it is. I think I'm a highly skeptical person. But I don't think that I'm inherently disbelieving in the world. So neither agree nor disagree. Feel others' emotions. Probably disagree. I feel like I care about other people's emotions, but I don't usually feel them when they express them. Do I waste my time? Strongly agree, especially if it's not my personal time. I think I waste plenty of time that I shouldn't be when I'm working, or supposed to be working. Am I hard to get to know? I think I am. Hard to get to know beyond the surface. I think I'm pretty friendly, but I don't tend to open up too much. That's something I've been realizing recently and working on after my girlfriend pointed it out for me. Kind of put it in my face. Do I have difficulty understanding abstract ideas? Strongly disagree. Rarely get irritated. I agree with that. Neither agree nor disagree. Believe that I am better than others. No. 2 out of 5. I like order. I kind of enjoy order and chaos. Have a strong personality. I would strongly agree with that. Believe in the importance of art. I do. If we take a broader perspective of art, I would strongly agree. Feel comfortable with myself. Sometimes. Others, I am pretty in my own head. So neither agree nor disagree. Kind of changes all the time. Inquire about others' well-being. Strongly agree. I try to do that all the time. Find it difficult to get down to work. I'd say that's about 4 out of 5. Well, yeah, 4 out of 5. Keep others at a distance. Strongly disagree. I don't try to keep other people out of my life. Can handle a lot of information. Say about a 4 out of 5. I don't think I'm the best at it, but I think I do pretty well. Get upset easily. Strongly disagree. Hate to seem pushy. I agree. I'm a very pushy person, but I do hate to seem pushy. So that's definitely a 4 out of 5. Keep things tidy? No. Not terrible, but I'm not good at it. 2. Lack the talent for influencing people. I hope not. I'm a salesperson. So I'll give it a 2 out of 5. Love to reflect on things. 5. Strongly agree. Love to think about myself and the world. Other people too. Feel threatened easily. Disagree. 2 out of 5. Can't be bothered with others' needs. Strongly disagree. Mess things up. Strongly disagree. Reveal little about myself. Strongly agree. Think I talk more about the things that I think about more than I talk about myself, if that makes any sense. I like to solve complex problems. Agree. Strongly agree. Keep my emotions under control. Strongly agree. Take advantage of others. Either disagree or strongly disagree. I can't even think of a time I've done that recently. So, strongly disagree. Follow a schedule. I try, but I'm terrible at it. Neither agree nor disagree. Know how to captivate people. I think I can do a good job when I try. It's probably an agree. 4 out of 5. Get deeply immersed in music. I think that's a neither agree nor disagree. 3 out of 5. Sometimes definitely, other times not at all. Rarely feel depressed. Strongly agree. Sympathize with other people's feelings. Yeah, I think so. 4 out of 5. Finish what I start. Neither agree nor disagree. I think if I really sell myself on it being worth finishing, then yes. So it kind of feels like half the time. Warm up quickly to others. I think so. Pretty quick to do that. I definitely do not avoid philosophical discussions. Strongly disagree. Change my mood a lot. I neither agree nor... I disagree with that. I'm typically one-track mind throughout the day. Small fluctuations. Avoid imposing my will on others. I disagree. Pretty headstrong. I just try not to be an asshole about it. I'm not bothered by messy people. Strongly disagree. I'm not tidy, but I can't stand a messy person. Wait for others to lead the way. I agree. I don't typically try to be the first person to start something or get other people along. But if no one's willing to make a decision, I usually hop to take charge. Do not like poetry. Strongly disagree. Worry about things. I do. I would agree with that. I worry, but I think I manage it well. I don't think I'm ever crippled by it. Am indifferent to the feelings of others. Disagree. Don't put my mind on the task at hand. Disagree. When I'm engaged in something, I'm pretty full into it. I don't know. That's not necessarily true. Neither agree nor disagree. Sometimes I get caught up in the multitasking. Rarely get caught up in the excitement. Disagree. I tend to jump all in. Avoid difficult reading material. Strongly disagree. Rarely lose my composure. Strongly agree. Rarely put people under pressure. I strongly agree. I try to avoid making people feel super pressured about what I put out there. Want everything to be just right. Disagree. See myself as a good leader. I think I do. I think I'm better when other people are relying on me. Seldom notice the emotional aspects of paintings and pictures. Strongly disagree. Am easily discouraged. Strongly disagree. Take no time for others. Strongly disagree. Get things done quickly. I agree. I get things done quickly most of the time, and other times I get them done averagely. Not a very enthusiastic person. I strongly disagree. I'm very enthusiastic. Have a rich vocabulary. I do when my brain's working and I can articulate words well, efficiently. Am a person whose moods go up and down easily. Disagree. Insult people. Strongly disagree. Try not to be an asshole. Am not bothered by disorder. I agree. I kind of work best in a little bit of chaos or stress. Can talk others into doing things. Agree. Need a creative outlet. Strongly agree. Hence, videos and writing and doing all the things. Am not embarrassed easily. Neither agree nor disagree. I think I manage it well, but definitely can get embarrassed as much as anyone else, I think. Take an interest in other people's lives. Strongly agree. Love to hear about other people. Always know what I am doing. Disagree. Show my feelings when I'm happy. I agree. I don't think I'm over the top, but I think it's pretty obvious when I'm in a good mood. Think quickly. Agree. Am not easily annoyed. Agree. Seek conflict. Neither agree nor disagree. I don't think that I seek conflict, but I seek competition. Seek to be challenged. Dislike routine. I dislike monotony, but I kind of like routine. I like to know that things are going to be consistent. Hold back my opinions. Disagree. Try to consider whether there's a time or place that's better for my opinions to be said, but I don't think I ever hold them back entirely. Seldom get lost in thought. Strongly disagree. My mind goes off the rails all the time. Become overwhelmed by events. Strongly disagree. Don't have a soft side. Strongly disagree. Postpone decisions. I would agree with that. Have a lot of fun. Strongly agree. Learn things slowly. Disagree. Not the fastest, but I think I'm above average. Get easily agitated. Disagree. Love a good fight. I box and kickbox, so I do actually, in fact, love a good fight. See that rules are observed. I think you can observe them. You don't have to listen to them. But I don't know if that's me nitpicking. I'm going to go with disagree. Am the first to act. I am not. Usually the second or third to act. Take a little bit of time. Seldom daydream. Disagree. I don't think I daydream exactly, but I lose myself in thought, visualize things, so kind of. Am afraid of many things. Strongly disagree. Like to do things for others. Strongly agree. Am easily distracted. Yeah, I agree with that. Multitasker. Laugh a lot. Strongly agree. Formulate ideas clearly. Agree. I think it takes a little bit of time. Sometimes I lose people along the way trying to bring a thought together, but for the most part, I think I do a good job. Can be stirred up easily. Disagree. Am out for my own personal gain. Disagree. Want every detail taken care of. Strongly disagree. Terrible with the details. Do not have an assertive personality. I think agree nor disagree. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I think I'm hit or miss in that area. See beauty in things that others might not notice. I would agree with that. Maybe, yeah, strongly agree with that. Next task. Oh, assessment is complete. That was pretty quick. So I just completed assessing myself with 100 phrases. The systems compared my self ratings to thousands of other people, and am being compared to men and women of all ages. So on agreeableness, I am moderately high. So and that's the primary dimension of interpersonal interaction. Has two aspects, compassion and politeness. So I'm in the 65th percentile, which means that if I was one of 100 people in a room, I'd be more agreeable than 65 of them, less agreeable than 34 of them. So people with moderately high levels of agreeableness are seen as cooperative, warm, and considerate, likely to look for and even sometimes to see the best in others, are interpersonally tolerant. They don't like seeing people's feelings get hurt, are concerned about the emotional state of others, prefer peace or harmony, tend somewhat more towards submissiveness than dominance, particularly if also below average in neuroticism. So people with moderately high levels of agreeableness are somewhat forgiving, accepting, flexible, gentle, and patient, tend to feel pity for those who are excluded, punished, or defeated, generally feel that people should work cooperatively, and are somewhat skeptical of competition with its losers and winners. So women are higher in agreeableness than men. The mean percentile for women in a general population is 61.5. For men, it's 38.5. So I am slightly more agreeable than the average woman, I guess. Lower in agreeableness helps explain having much higher rates of criminal incarceration. So I am pretty unlikely to be a criminal, I guess. Not strongly associated with political liberalism or conservatism, but that's because the aspects of agreeableness predict such political belief in opposite ways and cancel each other out. Liberals are higher in compassion, conservatives in politeness. However, alliance with the category of belief has come to be known as politically correct, strongly predicted by agreeableness. So, in terms of compassion, which is a subtype of agreeableness, I am high compassionate, so 81st percentile. So I'm more likely to be compassionate than 81 people in the room and less compassionate than about 18 of them. So highly compassionate people are much more interested in the problems of other people and other living things, particularly if they're young or helpless. They're quite concerned about helping other people avoid negative emotion. They make more time and do more kind things for others, even when doing so may interfere with fulfilling their own needs and interests. Have a markedly soft side, other people consider them sympathetic and nice, and will turn to them often for a listening ear. Highly empathetic and caring. However, because they're so other-oriented, they may find it difficult to negotiate on their own behalf and may not get what they deserve for their hard work, for example. This can lead to resentment. Those who are liberal politically score somewhat higher in compassion than conservatives. Women are also higher in compassion than men. The mean percentile for women in a general population, women and men, is 61. For men, it is 39. So I guess I'm pretty compassionate. Moderately low in politeness, which is one aspect of agreeableness. So my score puts me at the 38th percentile for politeness. If you're one of 100 people in a room, I'd be less polite than 61 of them and more polite than 38 of them. People who are moderately low in politeness are not particularly deferential to authority, nor are they markedly obedient. They can be respectful, but only to people who clearly deserve it, and they're willing to push back when challenged. Not particularly uncomfortable confronting other people. People moderately low in politeness are not particularly motivated to avoid conflict or to steer clear of conflict or fights. I feel like that's fairly accurate. I think I care a lot about people, but I have a hard time when it comes to people who demand respect or expect that I should respect them for any other reason than their own merits. But I don't think I'm on the extremes of either end, so it seems like I'm all right there. My conscientiousness is super low, 11th percentile. So if I was one of 100 people in a room, I would be less conscientious than 88 of them and more conscientious than 11 of them. People low in conscientiousness do not regard duty as particularly important, and they don't like to slog away at their tasks. They'll only work hard if pushed, generally by outside forces, supervisors, spouses, friends, parents, and don't mind wasting time. Highly likely to procrastinate. Even when people with low levels of conscientiousness commit to doing something, there's a good chance they'll be late or delayed, even when there's no real reason for it. They tend to formulate and deliver excuses for their failure under such circumstances, typically blaming the situation for the problem. They're not decisive, neat, organized, future-oriented, or reliable, and they find themselves too easily distracted. People with low levels of conscientiousness are much less likely to obtain higher grades in academic settings, particularly if they're also less intelligent, generally require substantial supervision to stay on task. For this reason, they make suboptimal managers and administrators and don't feel compelled to do things by the book, however. This can perhaps be an advantage if they're engaged in creative tasks where rules must be broken for advancement to take place, rarely make career accomplishment a primary goal, turning instead to pursuit of safety and security if high in neuroticism, creative accomplishment if high in openness, establishment of intimate relationships and friendships if they're highly agreeable, or social success, excitement, and fun if they're extroverted. So such people are by no means achievement-oriented. I don't know that that is entirely indicative of me. I think that certainly in some things that I have a decisiveness about me, but it typically takes some coaxing. As far as it goes, like they're saying, only working hard if pushed, I think is true, although I do a decent job of working to push myself and being aware of it, although a lot of this could be my own awareness of low conscientiousness levels and trying to actively work around it. People low in conscientiousness do tend to relatively be free of guilt, shame, self-disgust, and self-contempt, which is pretty accurate. Other people, however, are likely to react negatively to their tendency to slack off and avoid responsibility, particularly if those other people are disagreeable and conscientious. Individuals who are low in conscientiousness tend to not be concerned by failure. They're not judgmental to themselves or others, and find and formulate situational explanations for disappointment, frustration, or lack of success. I don't think that's accurate for me. I think I have a pretty internalized locus of control and don't tend to blame it on the people around me or circumstances that are outside of my control. But again, a lot of that may very well be related to an active effort to this point in my life of trying to work around that and understand that better. They're much less concerned than average with cleaning, moral purity, and achievement. And as far as that goes, I do make a pretty strong effort to care about my cleaning, moral purity, and achievement. But I guess everyone has exceptions. So there's industriousness and orderliness. So in industriousness, it is one aspect of conscientiousness, and my score puts me at the 22nd percentile for industriousness. So people low in industriousness are much less likely to be successful in school and in administrative and managerial positions, particularly if they're less intelligent. If they're highly intelligent, they tend to be regarded as underachievers. So they focus less on work than others and are substantively more likely to procrastinate, miss deadlines, or fail to complete assignments or projects completely. They put off responsibilities, concentrating more on fun, worry, relationships, excitement, or creative endeavor. Aren't concerned with schedules, timelines, or efficiency, and will have to be supervised excessively before their tasks will be completed. They lack focus and are too easily distracted. Lacking focus and easy distraction are definitely accurate in my case. But I do really try to take schedules and projects seriously. I don't tend to put off the important stuff. I care pretty deeply about how I affect others, which I guess could relate to the compassion part of it. Orderliness, very low, 9th percentile. People very low in orderliness are not at all disturbed, upset, or disgusted by mess, disorder, and chaos. I don't know about mess and chaos, or mess and disorder, but chaos definitely doesn't bother me. They just don't notice such things, or if they do, they don't at all care. see the world in shades of gray, not in black and white, and are extremely non-judgmental and devil-may-care in their attitudes towards themselves and others. They never use and positively dislike schedules, lists, or routines. Even if they plan, almost never implement those plans, preferring to take things as they come and letting chance determine the outcome. They're not at all oriented toward detail and very rarely abide by rules or procedures. On extroversion, I'm moderately high, so 72nd percentile. People with moderately high levels of extroversion are quite enthusiastic, talkative, assertive in social situations, and gregarious, often energized by social contact and crave it. They typically like to plan parties, tell jokes, make people laugh, participate in community activities. Somewhat more likely to have positive memories of the past, above average levels of current self-esteem, particularly if they're low in neuroticism, and tend to feel optimism about the future. Regarding enthusiasm, moderately high, 75th percentile. So people who are moderately high talk more about everything, particularly other people, than the typical person, laugh or giggle more than average, would rather spend time around other people than alone. They tend to like parties. They don't generally keep people at a distance and are not too concerned with keeping things private. Comparatively positive and optimistic, they warm up quickly to other people. They like stimulation, excitement, activity, and fun. Enthusiastic people are gregarious, encouraging, and people-loving, and tend to be quite positive about what might happen next. Enthusiasm is not strongly associated with political preference, either conservative or liberal. Women are more enthusiastic than men and tend to be at about 55th percentile. For men, it's 45th percentile. In assertiveness, I am moderately high. So moderately assertive people are more take charge types, put their own opinions forward, somewhat likely to dominate and control situations. They can be influential and captivating, have a communication style that's more often associated with leadership. So it's good when they're knowledgeable, competent, and able, but less good when they aren't. Moderately assertive people tend to be more action-oriented, less likely to wait for others to lead the way. Now and then they might be impulsive, in consequence, acting too quickly without thinking. Neuroticism is super low, so I'm at the 10th percentile for neuroticism. People with very low levels of neuroticism almost never focus on the negative elements, anxieties, and uncertainties of the past, present, and future. It's very rare for them to face periods of time where they're unhappy, anxious, and irritable, unless facing a serious, sustained, complex problem. Even under the latter conditions, they cope very well, don't worry, and recover quickly. Very good at keeping their head in a storm, and they almost never make mountains out of molehills. They have much higher levels of self-esteem, particularly when they are also average or above average in extroversion. They're at much lower risk for developing anxiety disorders and depression. When good things happen to them, people with very low levels of neuroticism can appreciate it without questioning whether or not they deserved it. They are unusually satisfied with their relationships and careers, overall very tolerant of stress, much more easily accept failure and setbacks as part of life. My withdrawal rate is low, so that's 12th percentile. It's an aspect of neuroticism. Individuals low in withdrawal rarely suffer from or are impeded by anticipatory anxiety, so they can handle new, uncertain, unexpected, threatening, or complex situations well. Substantially less likely to avoid or withdraw in the face of the unknown and unexpected. Volatility is also low, 11th percentile. So individuals low in volatility are stable and predictable in their moods. They're not irritable and feel much less disappointment, frustration, pain, and loneliness. People find them easy to get along with and can often relax around them. So they rarely express their frustration, disappointment, and irritability and appear reasonable when they do so. Even on the rare occasions they become stirred up, upset, angry, or irritated, they calm down quickly and are much less argumentative than average, rarely lose their composure. And then I think this is the final one, openness to experience, very high. So I'm in the 92nd percentile for openness to experience. People with very high levels of openness to experience are extremely likely to be characterized by others as uncommonly smart, creative, exploratory, intelligent, and visionary. They're strikingly interested in learning and are constantly acquiring new abilities and skills. They're very curious and exploratory, very interested in abstract thinking, philosophy, and the meaning of belief systems and ideologies. They'll seek out cultural events like movies, concerts, dance recitals, plays, poetry readings, gallery openings, and art shows. They are unusually likely to enjoy writing or even to be driven to write. They enjoy complex, abstract ideas and love to confront and solve complex, abstract, and multidimensional problems. They're uncommonly likely to be prolific readers with an unusually wide range of interests. People who are very high in openness to experience are not well adapted to and do not do well in situations or occupations that are routinized and predictable. They do not fit in at all well at the bottom of hierarchies, uncommonly ill-suited to entry-level repetitive rote positions because they are always thinking up new ways to do things, and such ideas are seldom welcome from someone at the bottom. They're very radical thinkers. They shake things up, particularly if they're also disagreeable and assertive. They're more likely to be revolutionary rebels. Individuals very high in openness to experience are entrepreneurial in spirit, as well as smart and creative. They have much higher than average interest in creating new ventures, sometimes for profit, sometimes for curiosity, and sometimes for personal transformation, which is what this vlog is all about. Very high levels of openness to experience appear necessary to the formation and leadership of business and other forms of complex organization, although conscientiousness appears required for the attention to detail and process management that such organizations also always need. Because people who are very high in openness to experience tend to be interested in everything, this can make it hard for them to settle on a single path in life, to specialize to a necessary degree, and to create an integrated identity. This is particularly dangerous if they are high in neuroticism and or low in conscientiousness. People characterized by the combination of high openness to experience and high neuroticism continually undermine their own convictions and beliefs by incessant questioning and making themselves lost and anxious. Open, unconscientious people tend to be underachievers, particularly if also above average in neuroticism. Such people appear to have the capability to succeed, can learn quickly, and are creative, but they seldom implement their ideas. Openness to experience is the dimension that best predicts political allegiance, with conscientiousness, particularly the aspect of orderliness, coming in at second place. Those who are liberal politically are very much more likely to be high in openness to experience than conservatives. So I'm super open to experience and super low conscientiousness. And that might explain why this has taken so long for me to even get started or to even touch. Who knows? Intellect is high. It's a aspect of openness to experience, and it is not to be confused with the personality aspect of intellect with IQ. Intellect is a measure of interest in abstract ideas, essentially, while IQ is a measure of processing speed, verbal ability, working memory, and problem-solving capacity. It's better measured with a formal IQ test. It is perfectly possible to have a high IQ and a low score on the personality trait of intellect, or the reverse. So people high in intellect are quite interested in ideas and abstract concepts. They enjoy being confronted with novel information, even when it's complex. They are substantially more curious and exploratory than average, and frequently like to tackle and solve problems. They will actively engage in and seek out and initiate issue-oriented discussions, and are likely to read, think about, and want to discuss idea-centered books, most frequently nonfiction. They're generally articulate and can formulate ideas clearly and quickly, particularly if they're average or higher in extroversion. They have a wide vocabulary, actively enjoy learning new things. People high in intellect will often find and generate novel, creative concepts and voluntarily search for and adapt well to new experience and situations. Openness. I'm very high in openness, which is an aspect of openness to experience. The closest synonym for openness, rather than openness to experience, which encompasses openness and intellect, is creativity. So very open, creative people love beauty. They require an outlet for their creative ability or they can't thrive. They need to be surrounded by art or beautiful things. They're strikingly sensitive to color and architectural form, very much like to collect things now and then to the point of obsession, very imaginative, love to daydream and reflect on things, uncommonly affected by music, often of many genres, and may be musical or artistic themselves. They can get unusually immersed in a book or a movie or in their own thoughts and become oblivious to the outside world. They respond very strongly to beauty, creativity, and art. Very open, creative people can be impractical and flighty, however, particularly if low in conscientiousness. It can be extremely difficult to transform creativity into money or into a career. High levels of openness are furthermore necessary for entrepreneurial success and often prove useful at the top of hierarchies, even in very conservative occupations such as banking, accounting, and law, which need creative people in leadership positions to provide new vision and direction. So liberals are higher in openness than conservatives. Women are higher in openness than men. I guess I have just all the womanly traits in a guy, except for assertiveness. And then taken to the extreme. My thoughts on the test are that it very well could be accurate. I think I might, while I might feel like I disagree with the conscientiousness, it very well could just be that people don't like hearing the weak parts of themselves. And it's not far off in some of the ways that I interact with life. I think that as I go through this vlog and as I start going down this journey, that's going to be one of my biggest points of friction and self-improvement, is trying to make that work.